Outlaw, Macho, Drive-In.
Yeah, I'm sorry to cut you. Speaking of Goldust, because I have In Your House 6 on mute here on the TV, and they just cut back to the AOL room,
Yeah,
and
they did that quite a bit.
and he is just harassing the guy who's typing out
Yeah,
the answers while he's dictating it to it's
the AOL room was the AOL room. Doc Hendricks pimping merchandise,
yeah,
um, and just
and
seeing the locker rooms who are
and
in
for
your
the
house
earlier
people.
portion, Gorilla Monsoon making announcements as well, like the post.
Yes, yes. Um, but your house perfectly shows how overly produced WWE is nowadays and how overly stacked their roster is.
Yeah.
Because you look at in your houses especially, and you can see like the heels, especially in like '96. It's like he had a strong undercard, like Triple H and Goldust, Farouk. Like it's a strong undercard that you could feel like these guys could be facing Shawn Michaels pretty soon, but they still have them, facing off with guys like Mark Marrow, Ahmed Johnson, etc.
They were slow burning on everyone. Like
Yes,
it's
yes, it's
also watching in your house. It makes you long for that long, lengthy title reign where a champion just goes through wrestler after
yes,
wrestler. Eh,
which is what I love about Michaels' reign because
yeah,
Michaels didn't face the same person
two pay-per-views
over
in a
and
row.
over again, which is something that is missing from nowadays, where it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna have Drew versus Lashley 5 months in a row.
Drew versus Orton 5 months in a row.
Drew versus Orton, yeah. Cena versus Orton. You can say that with pretty much anybody in the past decade. Um, Michaels ran through people,
Michaels,
and
let's see,
it was great.
Michaels beats Bret Hart. He beats Diesel the next pay-per-view. Next pay-per-view, British
Yes.
Bulldog. Okay, British Bulldog got two pay-per-views out of it because he was at the King of the Ring thing again.
Yeah.
But still,
And a
moving on to
six-man tag.
yeah, on to the next one, six-man tag, international instant, which is down in Canada, which also Shawn Michaels had that entrance, those fans, breaking the barricade trying to get in
Yeah.
on the entrance, which was actually cool because it showed you how much Shawn Michaels was popular at the time.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah. Then he takes on Vader. Yokozuna on Monday night.
Mankind.
Yeah, Yokozuna on Monday Night Raw the night after SummerSlam or
Oh
something like
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then Mankind, and then he finally makes it to Sid.
Yes. A great reign.
It is a great reign. It had a lot he had a lot of giants coming after him, like three at least. And
Yeah.
one of them, like the fourth giant, beat him, but still. And he had a deranged monster and Mankind come after him.
And that Mankind match, Michaels shows aggression in that match. He there's one point where he's stomping away at Mankind in the corner. The ref tries pulling him off, and Michaels just kind of brushes him off and like kind of threatens the referee. It's Michaels. It's still way before pre DX Michaels.
Yeah, but he's still
like it's him just being Shawn Michaels being like, hey, I'm Shawn Michaels. I do what I want, when I want, where I want, and there's one point where he gives a suplex to Mankind on the outside onto some stairs, and kind of cringe watching it. It's like, damn, it's like
knowing what
it's a kind of a spot, yeah. It's like Mankind's legs just go right onto the stairs, and Mankind is underrated in '96 because, like,
he is.
people always talk about him being a guy that became who he is, like after King of the Ring '98, but '96, like, he's a great heel, and the dude takes beatings. Like, there's no one else.
And while they actually used him a lot, like he was basically a high-end utility star for them. That's how he was. That's not how we think about Mick, but that's how he was used after the Undertaker feud.
Yes.
It's
Yep.
yeah. he still like put in the work. Like I mean, like again, he was facing Shawn Michaels. He was facing Shawn Michaels, but he was already signed up for the Undertaker at the Buried Alive. He had
Yeah.
already announced that. So you're like it's kind of like when you're looking at it. Okay, this is just a match to have a match. It's
Yeah.
it's something to build towards something else. But still, they made a lot about of it, and bringing him back to Shawn Michaels, that pre-match promo where he said, and I remember watching it and thinking, I mean, like, I appreciate it now, but I was like, I was not convinced with it back then when he said, like, I know, like, like, you guys call it mind games, you're trying to mess with my head, but there's not much going on up here, and I'm like, and it's the problem is you're comparing it because while it actually rings true for what you see Shawn Michaels' character is, he was being compared to Mankind in that, and if you're gonna
Yeah.
say one of them has the screw loose, it's gonna be Mankind. You're never gonna say Shawn
Yes.
Michaels is the
Yeah.
crazier one. It's still, I think he
Um,
should have sold him, but it still was a great promo retrospective when you look at it now. It's
a lot of Michael's promos, 96. Like, you remember watching um an interview with Michael's back in 97, where he was talking about how, you take a guy like him, or no, it was then in 98. He was talking about, he was like how he needed to shift to a different persona, and he's like, yeah, you take a guy like me and they want to see me get my face smashed in, but people think Shawn Michaels was all goody goody and like stuff in 95 and 96. his promos his promos were always semi attitude era. Like,
yeah,
he had always little hints about, inside jokes, innuendo. Like, people say the curtain call broke the fourth wall. Dude was breaking the fourth wall before the curtain call. Like, he was
yeah,
always throwing little
but just
jabs out.
but you would think that like back then he was doing it just to entertain himself or to entertain the boys back
Exactly,
then.
exactly.
Like he was like
Yes,
throwing
yeah.
those stuff up like it's kind of like a dare watch me. I'm gonna say this, and they're gonna
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Of course, he did
Um,
the whole sunny days afterwards, but then again,
yeah.
but that was
His
forever. It's not.
The whole involvement with the Michaels at it's time. Um
Oh,
he's at ringside.
yeah,
He's talking about, Sid. He's talking about Brett. And watching these, like, I remember, like, I was first starting to get, like, smart into the industry. I had this match with Sid and Brett on a couple of tapes. It was, like, on this Bret Hart VHS. It was on another one. I know for a fact it was on a Bret Hart VHS. But watching it back in, like, say 99, 2000, about 99, I'd say, you're watching it and you're just like, the way Shawn Michaels is talking, it's really blurring the lines, like him, Sid, Brett, Austin, Owen, because this match ties a lot of people together, because
yeah.
this is when WWF starts kind of making everything kind of intertwined, interconnected. You listen to Shawn Michaels and you buy in and you think to yourself, man, he's making you believe that these people legit hate each other backstage, because the way he's trying to
Yes,
blur a lot of
and
kayfabe lines.
yeah, yeah. He was, and it's kind of weird because like actually, you remember WWF magazine or the Raw magazine back then? They kind of leaned into that as well. Once
They
they
did.
did
They
that,
did.
Shawn Michaels, like the first time I heard about that tussle backstage where the lock of hair was taken out was from the Raw magazine, and Vic Venom was writing about it, which is Vic Venom is Vince
Yeah.
Russo for those who don't
Yes.
know. And they had another. Remember, there was a column by someone called the Informer, and
Yeah. Yeah.
supposedly
Yeah.
this anonymous reporter who was backstage, and this informer he threw out a counterpoint to Big Venom's thing because Big Venom was talking about how they legit hated each other and whatnot. He threw out a
Yeah.
counterpoint about how Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart were basically working everyone and they're in it together because he says, well, no one saw the first punch getting thrown. Actually, no one saw any punches getting thrown.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and And it's kind of weird. And like going back to the thing where he throws these little jabs about like stuff that goes on in reality. WrestleMania 13, he was on commentary for the main event, and he was talking about like how Bret
Yeah.
Hart complains about like being screwed over, and he said the Undertaker, he has been given the shaft more than anyone here in the WWF, and you never heard him
Yeah.
complain once. And it actually strikes you as weird that well, okay. And I mean, like it's that Shawn Michaels actually appreciated someone because you could tell that Shawn Michaels was in that phase where he was like, I don't know if I'm ever gonna be back, but I'm gonna just put over everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, especially then because you listen to a lot of stuff with Taker, and even like the Broken Skull sessions of Godfather a few weeks
Yeah.
ago. You can basically tell that like Click didn't really mess with a lot of Taker's voice.
Yeah.
Like they were like, hey, you know what? We'll mess with the Hearts and we'll mess with everyone else who they probably considered jobbers. They're like,
Like
even though a lot of Taker's
like
guys were undercard guys.
poor Dean Douglas, poor Jeff Jarrett.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
pretty
Bam
sure.
Bam.
I'm pretty sure everyone who was like facing Shawn Michaels for the Intercontinental Championship back then was on.
Yeah. Yes. But like Taker's group,
Yeah.
it's like, hey, these guys are off limits.
Yeah.
Not gonna do anything with them.
Yeah, because if you think about it as well, Taker's group had two bona fide, like big timers in it.
Eventers.
Yeah, main eventers / big timers, Undertaker and Yokozuna.
Oko.
So, like, he had Fatu, who was he's from the Noe family, so that guy is gonna be like backed up.
Savio, who was a huge workhorse, like
Yeah.
like especially watching these in your houses, that dude's on a lot of these shows, and he's always in solid competition.
He is great in it. He was great in the He was great in the King of the Ring too. I remember like that year where Mabel won, and it's which we gotta get circle back to Mabel in a minute, but with you had Savio in there, you had Henry O'Godwin, and then later Phineas, which I think Henry and Savio were protected, were initially not messed with because of they were in the Bond Street crew.
Yeah.
I mean, I think so.
And
you never know. Maybe they like. Yeah, but.
Thank you for joining us on the Outlaw Macho Drive-In. If you liked that video, please click like and subscribe to our channel for more content from the Drive-In. For full episodes of our podcast, you may look us up on Anchor, Spotify, or wherever your favorite podcasts are available. Just search for Outlaw Macho Drive-In. And if it's not too much trouble, would you help us out here? Spread the word, share. We would really appreciate it. Thank you. We love you. Bye.